Hello, I'm Jürgen Wolf. I've been a professional writer for about 25 years, and I'm the author of these two books, Your Writing Coach and Your Creative Writing Masterclass. And today I'm going to share some writing tips with you. In this video, I'm going to talk about how to write children's books. Now, there are lots of different kinds of children's books. There are picture books that parents typically read to very young children. There are books for beginning readers who perhaps read partly along with the parents. There are also books for the 8 to 12 group, the early teens, young adults. Now, in young adults also there's a lot of crossover books, Harry Potter and the Twilight books being the most recent and the biggest examples. So there are sometimes two editions of those books, one for young people and then a cover for people that don't want to be seen reading a young people's book if they're older. So these are all different categories, and so you need to decide which of these you're targeting. It's true, of course, that among children you might have an 8-year-old who's reading at a 12-year-old level and a 12-year-old who's reading at an 8-year-old level, but still publishers use these categories as kind of broad indicators of the target audience. So decide on that first of all. Then you need to know that audience, whichever age group you're appealing to. Know what they're interested in, know how they talk to each other, know the technology they're using, and so on. And related to that is that you need to know what they're reading today and not to go too much by the classics. For example, here we've got Charlotte's Web, which is a wonderful book, but it was written in 1952. And so the style of writing that kids read these days has changed. They still read the classics, but I wouldn't base what I'm writing now for children on the style of a book like this or a book that goes even further back, like some of the other classic children's novels. So be aware of what they're reading today. Things like, here we have The Terrible Tutors. Several things you want to watch out for. You don't want to talk down to children. You don't want to patronize them. They will detect it and they will put the book away. You also need to keep the plot moving forward quickly. Kids are used to fast-paced stories from television, from movies, and they expect it in their books. They also don't like a lot of description typically. They like lots of dialogue. Again, that tends to keep the stories moving well. Do appeal to the senses, so you're writing about things that we can in our imagination see, hear, feel, taste, because that makes it come alive. One crucial point with children's books people often get wrong: you are not supposed to find the illustrator. The publisher will do that. So that's kind of the overview of the whole thing. Let me summarize it quickly for you. Pick your target group, your age group. Get to know what they are talking about, thinking about doing, and what they're reading. Don't base your writing on old-fashioned styles that may be part of the classic books that you read. And keep the story moving, use lots of dialogue, and don't send illustrations. And the last thing I'll say is enjoy it. Enjoy that visit back to your own childhood, being the inner child, when you write for other children.